This is the moment. This really is the moment that matters at the Gift of Time Gala. And I know you're going to want to hear Maureen. Our next guest has joined us to share an incredible story, a story that you would hope no parent would have to live through, but Maureen and Scott have. Please give a warm and loving welcome to Canuck Place mother, Maureen LaForge.
It's an honor to be here tonight. My name is Maureen, and I would like to share with you our journey with our daughter Angela. I'll start when Angela was barely 18 years old, a recent grade 12 graduate living in Campbell River, just learning to spread her wings independent of mom and dad. Some of you in this room might be able to relate to this significant moment in time. The world was in front of her proverbial oyster, and time for her had its own meaning. Angela's thoughts and dreams were not unlike any typical 18-year-old. Figuring out what independence would look like, getting a decent job, going to college, falling in love, eventually getting married, and that small task of just figuring out the person she was evolving into. At this point, nothing in Angela's short life experience could prepare her for what the road ahead had waiting. In reality, my husband's and my combined life experience could barely prepare us. Angela was diagnosed with chordoma in January of 2015, a 1 in a million cancer not usually found in one so young, an aggressive cancer with too few treatment options and not a lot of time to act. At this moment, our concept of time suddenly changed. Days had new meaning, new urgency, and we now had to pack so much into 24 hours. The next 6 months saw us embark on an overwhelming journey of surgeries, specialized radiation treatments in the US, and numerous trips to doctors in Vancouver. We were home in Campbell River for only a few weeks at a time, with little time for anything else. But we were a team, rushing from one hopeful moment to the next. How quickly time passes when your days matter so much. Only a few short months later, on November 12, 2015, after metastasis, another surgery, and a drug that just might work, it became evident that the outcome we had all been praying for was not to be. We were told that Angela had only a few weeks to live, and she would likely not survive to see Christmas. Tumors had taken the use of her voice, and now they had taken the use of her hands and legs as they continued to grow. But Angela was a fighter. She continued to fight for all her hopes and dreams, despite a failing body. And in January of 2016, Angela was well enough for discharge from hospital. But going home to Campbell River would not be an option. We would remain here in Vancouver. Here we were, 1 year, 365 days since Angela's diagnosis. And once again, it felt like time had new meaning. It was at this time that we were introduced to Canuck Place. Being the parent of a critically ill child feels like being in the middle of a hurricane, a tornado, and a tsunami, all at the same time. And all the while, your child looks to you to calm the winds, block the flying debris, and hold back the waves. They look to you to save them. It was the most helpless feeling I have ever felt. We entered Canuck Place and we found a team that calmed the storms for our whole family with love, compassion, dedication, and expertise. For the first time in a long time, we could catch our breath. Time seemingly slowed down. Now our time was experienced in moments we could savor together. This was truly a gift of time. In anticipation of our first stay, Canuck Place nurse practitioner Camara Van Bremen wanted to know everything about Angela and her journey to that point, her medications, her abilities, and her care routine. To our surprise, Camara also asked Angela what she wanted the most so the team could work on making it happen. And it was no contest. Angela had heard about the huge bathtub and the equipment that would enable her to get into it. Bubble baths had been her favorite, and this would be Angela's first in months. We were introduced to another nurse, Margaret, who lovingly wove the threads of trust around our Angela. I watched the bond between these two grow as strong as oak during that period. Time had been afforded for Angela to bask in one of her favorite pleasures, and Margaret was at Angela's side for this much anticipated bubble bath. It sounds so simple, but these were the moments that mattered now. I wasn't sure they would ever get Angela out of there. I can still smell the fragrance of the bubbles as Angela shooed me out and told me to take some time for myself. The team took care of Scott and I too, always available to answer our questions, to hear one more story about our daughter, and always with a shoulder and a warm embrace as we cried, never once making us feel they didn't have time for us. Canuck Place had given our family this gift of time, time to be a family, not just a family of a sick child. In late March, Angela's health took a turn for the worst, and once again the Canuck Place team was by our side. It became evident that Angela's battle was coming to a close. With the support of the Canuck Place team, Scott and I had the strength to facilitate Angela's transfer back to Canuck Place for her final hours. Angela's last discharge from a hospital setting was done with care, compassion, dignity, and love that one could expect from a close family taking their loved one home. On April 16th, 2016, just before noon, in the gardens of Canuck Place, surrounded by our newfound friends and family, our daughter Angela passed peacefully and unafraid onto her next journey. It was truly a beautiful transition for our daughter, one that she too had hoped for. Angela did not want her final breaths to be in a hospital. I remember Angela saying, "When this is all over, don't let it be a sad story to never speak of. Let it be the beginning of a beautiful one." The team at Canuck Place had granted her this final wish and made it so. And thus began a new time, a time we inhabit now, filled with beautiful memories of Angela at our side, only in a different way. I wish the world was one without critically ill or dying children, but it is. So instead, I wish that all families could have the opportunity to have their last weeks, days, or hours with their child at Canuck Place, like we had with Angela. Canuck Place wouldn't be here without donor support. To all of you here tonight, your generosity means families like mine have this incredible team to help them navigate through the hardest time in our lives. Canuck Place wouldn't be here without your support. There are no words to adequately express my gratitude. You helped grant us time with Angela that we will never forget. Thank you on behalf of my family and all of the families who find themselves at Canuck Place.